There are a couple of things that I consider absolutely essential for when I'm on site at an event. So in today's video, I'm gonna give you what's in my bag, event planner edition. Hey, welcome back to the Experience Lab. I'm Joanna, your experience navigator, and on this channel, I share experiential tips for everyday brands. So first and foremost, and this should go without saying, bring pens. Bring lots of pens. Bring pens for everyone. People steal them, you lose them, you drop them. Trust me, just get a box. Don't be that person that comes unprepared for the test. Second, you want to bring Sharpies. I suggest bringing lots of Sharpies. I also suggest getting 2 different sizes. There's the regular fine point Sharpie that everyone's pretty much familiar with, but then there's also the king size Sharpie, the Sharpie of all Sharpies. And this is the one that you're gonna use to label things that are really big, label your boxes so that people can actually see what you're writing without having to do that weird thing where you go up and down a bunch of times to make a thick line. And again, these things grow legs, so bring a lot of them. The third thing that you want to remember is to bring Postit Notes. This goes into that same vein of labeling things and making sure that your entire team, no matter who it is, knows what everything is at every point of the day. The fourth thing that you want to remember to bring is a pocket knife or a box cutter. My preference is a pocket knife, and actually the one that I have needs to be upgraded because it's so old it kind of doesn't even cut anything anymore. I'm gonna link one down in the description that even has a little multi-tool and a bottle opener so that it's multi-use. But whatever you do, bring a sharp object to cut things. Number 5 gets into things that you may not be familiar with, and one of those things is Gaff Tape. Now, there are 3 reasons that event professionals swear by Gaff Tape, and the first of those reasons is because it's a paper tape with a special adhesive that doesn't damage surfaces. If you missed my video a couple weeks ago about venue owners charging to stick things to the walls and floors, Gaff Tape is something that you might not have thought about. But I can promise you, it's something that you need. I'm also gonna link that video for you below, but basically, if you do have permission to stick things to the walls and floors, Gaff Tape is the tape you wanna be using. The second reason Gaff Tape is a must-have is because it's heat resistant up to 200 degrees Fahrenheit, which means if you use it to tape up any of your electrical or to tape cords to the floor so that people don't trip on them, you can rest assured knowing that the tape isn't gonna melt if there's an electrical malfunction. And the third great thing about Gaff Tape is that it's really easy to rip without scissors, which means if someone is using your box cutter for something else, you can just rip it with your hands and it won't be a problem. Gaff Tape comes in a bunch of different colors, but my preference is to just have black and white on hand at all times. It's a little bit pricey per roll, but the peace of mind is definitely worth it. Another must-have event industry staple that I keep in my bag no matter what kind of event I'm planning is spike tape. Spike tape is mostly used in the theater industry to mark places on stage where they want actors to stand, or in the music industry, again, to mark places on stage that you want the artist to stand. It's made of that same special adhesive as Gaff Tape, so again, you can rest assured that once you stick it to the floor, it won't pull up varnish if the floor is wood or damage any other surface in any way. The other great thing about spike tape, and the reason why it's used in the theater and music industries, is because this one comes in really bright colors that look like a highlighter. And so if your venue is dark and you want to know where people should or should not step, it's a great option. Another use for it in the theater and music industries is to mark where things are gonna go ahead of time. So you would spike out where you want the drum set to be or where you want a specific couch to be. And that can be really good for getting ahead of your furniture vendor coming to set your stuff up. Fair warning with the spike tape, you are going to want to guard this with your life. And the reason is because, again, thieves. It's pretty colors, it's expensive, people see it, and for some reason they get sticky fingers. So guard it with your life. And again, it's a little bit on the pricey side, but for me, I think it's completely worth it. I bought a couple of rolls, I want to say over 3 years ago now, and I still have them. So you don't use it that often, but when you do use it, you thank yourself every time. The next thing you want to have on hand are vertical file jackets. This is where you're going to hold all of your extra contracts, permits, and paperwork in one place, like your run of show, your floor plan, your contact sheet, your venue contract, and any other paperwork that you need to keep on you, like a food handler certificate, etc., etc. Now, the reason that I suggest a vertical file jacket that's closed on 3 sides instead of a manila folder that's closed on one side is because you don't want any of your files or contracts to fall out while you're walking around with it, or if someone happens to pick it up to reference it for some reason. The ones that I'm gonna link in the description come in a multi-pack with different colors. So you can even say one color is for contracts and one color is for permits, or however you wanna organize things. And for you, the head honcho, you need a storage clipboard. Don't laugh and don't sleep on these things. They're about 1 inch thick, and basically you can open it and store extra paperwork on the inside, but also there's a clipboard on the outside where you can keep the relevant paperwork that you're currently using. And again, this is a super bright highlighter color, so if you put it down somewhere, you can easily find it no matter where it is. Number 9 on the list is a portable charger. And you might think, why would I need a portable charger? I can just bring my extra charger or my backup or whatever if the venue obviously is going to have outlets. But the portable charger is good for when your venue is really big and you know you're going to be doing a lot of running around from one end of the venue to the next. You can basically plug it up and keep it in your pocket or keep it in a fanny pack, and it charges as you carry it around and continue to use it. And number 10, which is definitely a bonus but always a nice to have, is a measuring tape. The reason a measuring tape is good to have is because in case any of your measurements were off, you're going to want to not eyeball where to put things if they don't fit in their original spot. Typically, if you measure ahead of time and you do it right, this is not something that you're actually going to need, but it's better to have it in case something comes up than to not have one. So there you have it. Those are the top 10 things that I always keep in my bag whenever I'm planning an event. Everything that I mentioned can fit into a small backpack with room for your laptop and a bunch of other things that you may need. I've left links to all of the products that I personally use, and if they're not available anymore, then something similar in the description. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and I will definitely get back to you and give you some advice. Also, if you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a like so that you can reference it in the future. Don't forget to subscribe for more experiential tips for everyday brands. Again, I'm Joanna, this is the Experience Lab, and I will catch you in the next one.